Don't have that subconscious belief, I want to say, I want to put it that way, your belief that you're healthy, then you're not going to be healthy. You are going to suffer because the suffering is here, the prison is here. Okay, so subconsciously, you have to install the belief that I am always healthy. I am healthy. This is who I am. Okay. Now, you know how we always talk about going through life like this. Okay. Going through life like this. People go through life like this. Okay. This is guarded. Okay. This is closed. Okay. This is frustrated. This represents suffering. Okay. If you're like this, you can't be healthy. You know why? Because you're holding things in like this, because you're walking around like this every day, okay? And that begins to act out in different ways. And that produces illness, okay? Because your energy is looking for a way out. If it cannot express itself in positivity, if you're not expressing it in positivity, it will express itself in negativity. What am I talking about? My best friend died from cancer. My best friend died of cancer in 2015. And he and I, emotions all the time. How do you change an emotion? You change how you feel. How do you change how you feel? You change your thinking. How do you change your thinking? Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, and visualization. It changes your thinking because now it frees you up to think good thoughts. You have to direct your mind, or your mind will direct you. If you don't direct your mind towards something, your mind will automatically go back to its subconscious programming. You can say unconscious programming if you want to, but it's subconscious. Whatever was there in the past will be again if you don't direct your mind away from it and install new beliefs. Your mind is like a computer. Okay, where do you think we got computers from? We got computers from other people's in here. Okay, there is no out there. I always say that because you need to understand what I'm saying. There is no out there. God up there? No, God is not up there. God is in here. The only thing that's out there is nature and other things. How do you become healthy with your subconscious? I am so happy and great. Let me get my pen. Here we go. I am so happy and grateful now that I am healthy. I am so happy and grateful now that I am in perfect health. Okay? Write it. Write it every morning when you're in theta state. This morning, when I first got up, let me describe how my days go. Okay, so I'll describe how my days go. When I get up in the morning, okay, I get up at either 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Okay, when I have a heavy schedule and I have back to back clients all day on Thursdays. So on Thursdays I get up at 4 a.m. That's late for me. Okay, I normally get up at 2:30. Okay, and I start my day. Now here's how I start my day. Okay, I have my coffee in the kitchen. Okay, so I have my go get my coffee. I put my coffee on the table, right? But my brain is still in theta state. Before I have my coffee, I close my eyes and I tell myself what kind of day I'm going to have. Okay, you can predict your future. You can dictate your future. Okay? All you have to do is speak it into existence. All you have to do is feel it into existence. All you have to do is become what you want. It's very easy. People ask me all the time, Uncle, how did you start your business? How did you start more than one business? How did you end up with all these online businesses? How did you do this, that, all of that? And I'm telling them it's here. Okay, first you have to believe. You don't have to believe necessarily in the things that you're doing. You don't have to believe in those things. You have to believe in this one. You have to believe in you first. Once you believe in this, everything else is easy, easier. Okay. It wasn't easy to build a business. It wasn't easy to build 2 or 3 or 4 businesses. It was not easy. Okay. It wasn't easy, but it was easier than if I was all stressed out looking at the first company going, oh, this is such a job. Oh, I'm working so hard. Oh my God. No, I was having fun. I was like, oh, this is cool. Okay, let's do this. Let's do more of this. And then, oh, now we're doing this. Now I have another interest. Let's do that. Let's do this one. You know, my cousin who was my accountant for a long time, uh, when the recession hit in 2008, she goes, you know, my sister-in-law needs a job. Why don't you start a billing company and she can work for you? And why don't you? She was asking me to start a billing company. She was keeping the books for my other companies, and I said, nah, I don't know if I'm interested in doing that, you know. But there has been times when I've started something just to give other people a job. Okay. Now, when you do something for others, okay, when you do for others or when you do things with others in mind, okay, that's an expression of humility. Because humility is not thinking less of yourself. Humility is thinking of yourself less. Okay, so you think of others first. So you do for others first. So you think of what you can do, the difference that you can make for others first. There are so many generous people in Hawaii. It's part of our culture. It's part of our culture to give. It's part of our culture to help. It's part of our culture to go, oh, you're having a hard time? Okay, here, take some of mine. Have some of mine. You don't have enough food? Have some of mine. You don't have enough money? Here, here's a couple dollars. You know, when people ask me for money, right? People ask me for money all the time. I go and I see, you know, homeless people and stuff, and they ask me for money. Oh, uncle, you have a couple dollars or whatever. You know, when I look at that, I always saw that as God asking me, God testing me. Not in the testing judgmental sense, but like, okay, you're getting a lot, you're receiving a lot. Are you giving? Are you going to give? Are you willing to give? That kind of thing, right? Not in a judgmental way, but in that kind of way. And I always give because I'm grateful that I received. And there was a time in my life where I wasn't receiving anything. And I had to scratch and I had to claw my way through things, you know, struggle. Okay. But the struggle was here. Okay. Some people never learn that the struggle is here. Some people don't get it. The struggle is in your subconscious. Okay? So today we're talking about health and the subconscious, and I'm here to tell you that your subconscious health is important because when your subconscious health is optimal, you hardly get sick. I can't even remember the last time I had a cold. I don't get sick. That's my paradigm. I don't get sick. Okay, it feels good to be well. Okay, it's not that, you know, I don't write an affirmation that says I don't get sick, because that will say I get sick. Okay, so the affirmation is I am so happy and grateful now that I am in perfect health. Thank you. That's the affirmation. Here, let's use the pen. Okay, I am so happy and grateful now that I'm in perfect health. Thank you. Now, you know what that does? Let me tell you how it works. Let me explain how it works. Good morning, user. All right. So we're on 7 networks, by the way. We're on 7 networks across the world right now. Trovo in Europe, where we're on TikTok with our international audience. We want to say good morning to TikTok. YouTube, 2 Facebook accounts. We're all over the place every morning at 7. So 7 at 7, 7 networks at 7, or 7 platforms at 7. Let me tell you how it works. Let me tell you how health works. Let's say, for example, you're overweight. How many of us have that problem? Me, guilty, right here. Okay, I'm overweight. I'm always overweight. My genetics, my genetics have a lot to do with that. But I'm always a few pounds overweight. Okay, and here's another thing: for those of you that are a little overweight, okay, not morbidly obese, but a little overweight, okay, if you get sick, you have better chances of survival because you have a little bit of extra pounds on you. Okay, not too much now. But here's how it works. Here's how it works. Let's say you want to lose 10 pounds. Okay, write an affirmation. Okay, let's say your target weight, my target weight right now is 190. Okay, I'm about 20 pounds away from my target weight. All right. So here, I am so happy and grateful now that I weigh 190 pounds. Thank you. That's all you need to do. That's all you need to do. So you know what's gonna happen next time you go to the party. You know, you go to the party on the weekends, right? We all party. In Hawaii, we have parties all the time. Okay, and we all get invited to parties. We go to the party, right? Everything's good. Oh, I'm eating the protein from the buffet. Yeah, vegetables. Okay, we're gonna load up on that. Ah, we're gonna eat all that stuff, right? Then what? Then the dessert table. Okay. So you pass the dessert table and you go, oh, wow, cake. Your subconscious goes, you know you're trying to lose a few pounds, right? You don't need the cake. Your subconscious will kick in at that point, and you'll look at the cake and you'll go, yeah, that's right. Okay. Because it will keep you mindful. It will keep you mindful of what your goal is. If you are writing your affirmation every morning, you're speaking it out loud every evening. So like I was saying, when I have my mornings, right? I get up in the morning, early in the morning. Okay, because productivity for a human being, creative productivity, the right brain, okay, is the highest between 2 and 4 in the morning. If you are a creative, if you are a creative kind of person, if you're a musician, musicians know this because they go home late from their gigs, right? They know this. They go home late, right? They can't sleep right away, right? And then all of a sudden they start getting ideas around 2 o'clock in the morning. Okay, this is a universal thing. Human beings are highly creative between 2 and 4 in the morning. It's a scientific fact. Look it up. Okay, so that being said, that's when I wake up. So I wake up right into creativity, right into peak creativity points. Okay, so I get up, I put my coffee on the table, but before I start my day, I close my eyes and tell myself what kind of day I'm gonna have. So this morning I close my eyes, I go, well, I'm gonna have a great day today. It's gonna be a great day. I'm gonna do a great live. I'm gonna share, as many things as I can share with people to kind of enlighten them and help them understand that they have the power to do things for themselves, that they don't need all the professionals that they're seeing. They don't need all of the pharmaceuticals that they're taking, or let's say it another way, they can avoid these things. They can avoid stuff like that. You can avoid kidney problems. You can avoid heart problems. You can avoid all kinds of problems. But you have to put a little work in there. A little work. Okay, how long does it take you to write this? I am so happy and grateful now that I am in perfect health. Thank you. How long does that take? That doesn't take too long. That does not take too long. How long does it take you to speak it? So you speak it in the evening, you speak it in the morning, okay? It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to speak it throughout the day. Okay? It doesn't hurt when you're in the middle of your day to pause and go, I am so happy and grateful now that I am in perfect health. Thank you. See? So, a belief is a thought you keep thinking. If you keep thinking the thought, it becomes a belief. In my belief system, I believe I'm healthy. I just had a blood test the other day. I'm at I'm at the age where I celebrate when I get my blood test back, right? Okay, so I got my blood test back the other day. I have the blood test of a 25-year-old. I'm like, it was excellent. There was just one thing, one thing was out of whack. It's a minor adjustment. It's more of a dietary thing for me. But yeah, you can be you can have optimal health. It all starts with your subconscious. Or you can be the most buff guy in the gym and always be sick. You can be the strongest guy in the room and always have a cold or the flu or whatever it is, right? Okay. But here's the thing, you have to put it in your mind. Everything is mindset. Everything in the world is mindset. Everything in your life is mindset. Okay, this is the strength right here. Okay, your strength is not in your biceps. Your strength is here. Okay, this is the one you need to condition. A lot of people go to the gym, they strengthen up, strengthen up, strengthen up. They're physically strong. You need to be mentally strong. The mental always outperforms the physical. Always. 24/7, 365. Every day. But you have to exercise it. Your subconscious needs to be exercised, much like you exercise in the gym. Okay, a lot of people go for walks. I go for my walk runs. I haven't been for 2.5 weeks now. I hurt my toe. So I can't wear shoes. So I, I haven't even, I've never experienced wearing slippers in public, and I'm wearing slippers in public. That's something new for me. But everybody's different, right? Some people wear, shorts and slippers every day. They're lucky. I have clients to see. I have business meetings to go to, so I can't always afford that kind of luxury. But I'm enjoying it right now, wearing slippers. So, but my point is, it's good to get the physical exercise, but you need the mental exercise. Okay, in the kind of industry I was in the entertainment industry, because I was doing several things all at the same time, simultaneous careers all at the same time. In the entertainment career, it's like a haven for narcissism. Okay, and there are many narcissists in the entertainment community. At one point I had to kind of check myself too. I'm like, am I becoming a narcissist? And the reason is because you have to do self promotion. Okay, and you learn to promote yourself all the time. You learn to pass out cards. You learn to do everything on social media to promote yourself, to do that kind of thing. And after a while of doing that, sometimes you have questions. I had questions, and my question was, am I being narcissistic? And the answer was, well, no, not really. You're just promoting yourself because you have to. And I had to come to that realization. But mental strength is so important. People don't understand mental strength. Okay, mental health, we have a mental health crisis going on because people do not know how to take control of this one. They don't know how to direct it. And I'm here to give you the good news: affirmation, meditation, vocalization, visualization. If you do all four directed at one thing or one goal for 60 days, you need to do that. 60 days. It cannot not happen. You cannot fail. You can't fail because you're a human being. You can't fail because you're God's highest creation. Okay? So let me share. I know I have tons of Christians on my page. Okay? Christians, listen up. All right. So in Job 22:28, go look in your Bibles, okay? 22:28. It says, "You will also declare a thing and it will be established for you, so light will shine on your ways." What does that mean? It's talking about affirmations and declarations. I declare, I'm going to do this. I got this. I'm going to do this. In 30 days, I'm going to make, 200 extra dollars, or whatever it is for you. Okay? In 30 days, I'm going to be healthy. You can declare that. But you have to declare it, you have to write it, you have to speak it, you have to think it, you have to meditate on it. Okay? Now, a lot of, when I compare a lot of Bible verses to the law of attraction, people go, oh, well, that's demonic. Nonsense. I'm here to tell you it's nonsense. Okay? Don't believe those kinds of religious people. Those kinds of religious people have no idea what they're talking about. It's your subconscious. Yeah, you can have an evil subconscious, sure. Just put some evil thoughts in there, put some evil programming in there. You will become evil. Okay? And because the subconscious learns a repetition, go ahead, put evil thoughts in there. Put evil deeds in there, right? So the roots of the tree are your subconscious. Now the body of the tree, the trunk of the tree is your paradigm. How you see the world depending on what you believe down here. Okay? Now let's go up the tree to the top. These are your actions. These are the fruits. Okay? The fruits are your actions, your habits. Okay? Because all of these actions result in something. So when you start with your beliefs, whatever you believe, this is how you see the world. This is how you see the world. This is how you act. This is how you act gives you the results. And what results do you have? Well, look around you. Whether you believe in manifestation or you don't, it doesn't matter. You're doing it. Maybe you're not aware. So I'm here to create awareness. Okay? Maybe you're not aware that that's what you're doing. Look around you. What kind of car do you drive? What kind of food are you eating? Okay? We're talking about health today. So what kind of food are you eating? Whenever somebody says, oh, I got sick, my first question is, what are you eating? What are you putting in your mouth? Are you eating a lot of chemicals? Are you eating whole foods? Are you eating good food? Or what kind of snacks are you eating? You can snack. What kind of snacks? You know what kind of snacks I eat? I eat nuts. I eat, I buy them from our local store here, right? But they're like mixed nuts. So I grab a handful of mixed nuts. I always do that, right? It's good for you, okay? Another thing that's good to snack on is vegetables. I buy these little celery sticks. They're in these little packages. They cut them up for you. You know, you just rinse those. Make sure they're clean. Chomp on some of those, like fruits and vegetables. Okay, if you're snacking on those things, then you're doing good. Okay, but if you're snacking on things that man-made, okay, stay away from man-made things. Jack LaLanne did a famous quote once, and what he said was, "If man made it, don't eat it. If it tastes good, spit it out." That was his quote. All right, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that because I enjoy good tasting food. So, but his point was that human beings manufacture food now. Okay, when you go and you buy certain products in the store, especially pre-made things, things that are they look too good to be true. They look too good to be food. It normally is too good to be food. Be careful. Read the ingredients. So what are you putting in your mouth? Some people don't. Oh, I'm sick. I get sick all the time. And my first question: what are you eating? Okay, so ask yourself, why am I eating this? Or ask yourself, is this the best choice? Now, if you condition your subconscious will give you the answer like that because you're better than any computer ever made. You're better than any chat GPT. You're better than any AI. You're better than all of it because you can sense everything in real time. You can ask and receive answers in real time, but you have to be aware. You have to pay attention to intuitive thought. Okay? Intuitive thought will warn you, okay? Because you'll be reaching for the brownies and your intuitive thought will go, you know what's going to happen when you eat that, right? But you have free will and you'll do it anyway, right? Because you have free will. But what I'm talking about is when you start writing these affirmations, when you start reciting them out loud, when you start putting these things into practice, affirmations, visualization, vocalization, okay, and meditation, when you start doing these things, it's automatic. It's automatic. Health is automatic. Before you put something in your mouth, you're going to think about it. Before you buy something off the shelf, you're going to think about it. I go to the store now and I can hardly find things to eat. Why? Well, because I start reading ingredients. If you can't understand the ingredients, if you can't pronounce the ingredients, it probably shouldn't be in your mouth. But what I'm saying is you will instinctively live like this if you use this one. Okay? I am so happy and grateful now that I am in perfect health. Thank you. There is only the conscious, the subconscious, and superconscious. That's all there is, and it's all in here. Now, the subconscious works with the superconscious, or what we call God. And the reason I do this is because everybody thinks God is up there. Everybody thinks God is in heaven. Okay? God is in the temple. Okay? God is in the temple. God is in here. God lives in here. The kingdom is within. Okay? But the subconscious and superconscious communicate. Okay? They communicate. And the superconscious is what makes people show up in your life. All of a sudden you meet the right girl. All of a sudden you meet the right guy. All of a sudden you meet the right person to get the right job, to bring you the right kind of money that you need, to pay your mortgage, to pay your bills, to survive, to live, to thrive. But it's the superconscious that does that. Your subconscious forms your beliefs. Once you believe something, your paradigm will dictate your actions, okay? Remember the tree. The roots are your beliefs. Those are subconscious beliefs. Can you replace all of them? No. No, unfortunately, you can't. But you can change enough of them. Okay, 15 to 20% maybe. Okay, the rest is, when you were born till age 7, that's your fundamental foundational paradigm. So some of those habits come back. So be careful how you raise your children. I see people swearing at their children nowadays, like they swear at their children. It's shameful. It's very shameful. It's shameful because that energy that they're putting in their child will come back at them one day. Because what you give out comes back. How does that happen? It happens through your subconscious. Your subconscious feeds you those things. Why? Well, when you say something, you swear at your children, your subconscious doesn't know if you're swearing at yourself, whether you're damning yourself or your child, or whether you're just angry, you're just venting. Your subconscious doesn't know. Your subconscious has no idea. All it hears is you swearing at your children. It doesn't have to be your children. It could be anybody. It could be you getting mad in traffic. It could be you getting mad anywhere. Your subconscious doesn't know if you're cursing someone else or if you're cursing yourself. And all of a sudden, you walk around wondering why you have low self-esteem. How come I don't feel good about me? How come I have this funny feeling inside? How come I insecure? How come I'm so reactionary to things? Why is that? Change your dialogue, change your speech. You know, I think what happened with me, which really benefited me, was because I worked in radio. You know, I've done so many things, but radio was one of them. Because I worked in radio for a long time, I always made sure that I wasn't swearing in the radio station. I always kept it outside. As a young child, my parents made me leave pidgin on the doorstep. I couldn't speak pidgin in the house. I had to speak English in the house. You know, when I went outside, did I speak? So for those of you around the world that are not in Hawaii, pidgin is a slang language that we use in Hawaii that was developed in the plantation era of Hawaii, where different minorities came together and had to communicate, and everybody contributed to this slang language, and pidgin was formed. Okay, and also pidgin is also various characteristics of pronunciations and languages. So good morning, Afrocentric. Good day, yes, good day. It is a good day. Yeah, thank you for dropping by. Christopher, how you doing, Christopher? Carl, Lucky, good morning. Blueprint 963, good morning. User, whoa, that's a lot of numbers there. User 995-753-4142007. Good morning. Good morning, welcome. So, you know, guard your speech, watch your speech. You know, I think the first thing for me was leaving bad language at the door when I walked into a radio station. So I did not have the habit of swearing, therefore I would not swear live on the radio kind of thing, you know. So I think that helped. That helped to at least have a separation for me, okay? So create a separation for yourself. Maybe when you're with your children, maybe you don't use that kind of language. It's not good for the children to grow up hateful. It's not good for the children. You know, people say, well, this is real. I'm going to be real. You know, yeah, real classless. Real. Yeah, real ugly. When you're swearing, when you're cursing, when your children grow up cursing, when it's permissible in the household, when it's okay with everybody, they form bad habits. And then you wonder why down the road, why am I having problems with my child? Why is my child so hateful? Why is my child so full of anger? Why is my child so angry? Well, because you started this when your child was young, and now your child has this paradigm, and now you have to fix it. I have people that send their children to me to fix their paradigm. Can you help them? You know, I have this one 14-year-old. I will tell you this story. I'm not going to name any names or anything. I mean, it's confidential, but I have this 14-year-old that I work with now. And I'm working with him because he needs to learn how to achieve his goals. He has goals. He's a 14-year-old with goals. I'm so proud of him. I'm very proud of this boy. One of the first things he told me, he goes, I'm going to succeed. He goes, I was born to succeed. I said, good, you keep thinking that, right? I said, you keep thinking that. I was happy for him. Yesterday we did another session, and like, he's amazing. He's just boom, 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 like that, okay? So don't underestimate children. Never, ever. I've been working with children for 36 years. I've turned many lives around. Many lives around. Because sometimes when children give up, okay, and this, I know we're talking about health, but let's go health/mental health, okay? Let's talk about health. Let's talk about mental health. When a child does not see the light at the end of the tunnel, they go, why should I do this? Why should I do that? Why should I, whatever. And when they have that attitude, they begin to go like this. They begin to go like this. Okay? And when they go like this, it takes a while to have them relax and open. It takes a while, right? Because it has to come to the point where they become open. They have to get to the point where they're willing, okay? So you have to open them up. And the fastest way to open a child up or an adult up is through their voice. Because when they're like this, okay, this represents I'm not cooperating. This represents I'm keeping to myself. This represents stubborn. This represents no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna get along. I'm not gonna go along. I'm not gonna do this, do that with you. Well, I'm not gonna do what you want. I'm on strike. That's what I call it. I call it on strike. So one of these parents came to me with one of their children, and I'm working with him. And he's 17 years old. And I said, well, it kind of looks like he's on strike. And she's like, yeah, I think that's what he's doing. I think he's on strike. And I'm like, well, then we have to mediate this. We have to negotiate, right? So it's not, it's not always the children's fault, okay? It starts at home. It starts with parents. Parents, it starts with you. If you're a young parent, okay, if you're in your 20s and you have children, you're in your 30s, you have children, you need to consider these things, okay? What you do, your children are your mirrors. When I was young, right? When I was young, the thing that, came down to me from my parents was, you're a reflection on your parents. You're not a reflection on your parents. You're a reflection of your parents, okay? Because all your bad habits, all of these things come down. Cells have memory. All cells have memory. And it all comes down. The habits all come down. Epigenetics, look it up. Epigenetics. Everything all comes down. Comes down the gene pipe, all the way down, okay? And then people have the audacity to blame their children when the same habits show up and like that. Okay, you can advise them, you can teach them. 9 times out of 10, they're not receptive to their own parents. You know why? Because they see you making mistakes. They see your human side. They see your real side. Children see right through you. Children see right through everybody. This one lady told me one time, she goes, her son was 11 years old. I'm still working with him, and he's 16. But I've been working with him since he was 11, and his mom goes, I've never seen an 11-year-old boy respond like this. I've never seen an 11-year-old boy so interested to get to his session every week with you, And I said, well, that's because I don't treat him like an 11-year-old boy. I treat him as an equal. I treat him as a human being. I treat him as someone who matters, as someone who counts. And I recognize the things he does that are good. Okay? I had somebody stand in my office one day. I had a physical office for 24 years. And I had somebody stand in the middle of my office one day, and he goes, I need to know what I'm doing wrong. Okay? He was like this. He was like that. Right? He goes, this is how I saw it. I saw it like this. I need to know what I'm doing wrong. Right? I saw it like that. It was kind of cartoon-ish for me. And I said, why do you need to know what you're doing wrong? He said, so I can fix it. I said, that's not how you fix what's going wrong. He goes, what do you mean? I said, well, if this is 50% and this is right and this is wrong, which is perception, by the way, if this is what's going good, this is what's going bad, and if over here and there's more bad than good, you know how you fix that? And he said, how? And I said, you grow, you focus over here and you focus here and you grow the good part. And now the good part outweighs the bad part, but you have to grow this. It's the same with everything in life. You have to grow it. You start small, right? And build. Start small and build. Nobody's CEO on the first day, right? Unless you buy a company, then yeah, okay, you can be CEO on the first day. Okay. But you have to grow things. You're a human. You have to grow this. If you don't grow this, you're not going to grow out here. It's the law of correspondence. It's the universal law of correspondence. Everything out here is a reflection of everything in here. You can't have this in negativity and have the things surrounding you in positivity. It won't happen. It can't happen. It's impossible. But when you change this one, now the law of correspondence says this has to correspond with this. This out here has to correspond with what's in here. So what's in here has to be what Hawaiians call pono. Okay, when everything is right, when everything feels right, when everything is pono. In here. That here can be joyful. Human beings, we have a balance. We're not always pleasant. I'm not always pleasant, I can tell you that. I'm not. I get upset, I get angry, okay? But I voice my opinion and then I'm done. I get the energy out, and sometimes it's as simple as, like that. Shake it off, okay? Get the energy out. It's part of health. It's part of mental health. Because if you keep holding it in, it's going to express itself out in another way. And with my friend, it was cancer. And it was the weirdest cancer. It came out of nowhere. It came out of left field. It came in the form of melanoma, and he was dark-skinned. Nothing made sense about it. Nothing made sense, but we knew. We knew why. So, you need to express your frustration, but get it out. Go do something. Go to the gym, punch the bag, go to the ocean, go surf, go use some energy, get it out. Express yourself through your voice. Say what you feel. Or just express like I do. Like get it out like that, okay? And move on, okay? When you have an argument with and this is mental health, okay? We're talking mental health. Today we're talking about health and the subconscious. Okay, so the mental health. Good morning, Jake. Good morning, Christopher. Yeah, please share the live, you guys. Go ahead, share the live. So we're talking mental health here, okay? We're talking you and a partner, you and a girlfriend, you and a boyfriend, you and a wife, you and a whatever, okay? Relationship. If you're in a relationship and you get in an argument and you're a girl and you give your boyfriend the silent treatment all day, guess what you're doing? You're hurting yourself. You're hurting yourself because you're keeping yourself in a bad mood all day long. Okay? You know what I do? I express it. I express exactly what's bothering me. And at that point, I've let go. And at that point, it's over. And then it's like, okay, next order of business, next thing. Grudges hurt you, okay? I always mention Lao Tzu and his quote about anger is like holding onto a hot coal thinking that somebody else is getting burned. So nobody else is getting burned. You're getting burned. You're getting affected by that. You holding on to anger, you holding on to frustration, you holding on to anything negative, okay? Now, all the negative vibrations, all the negative emotions, all negativity is rooted in fear. And at the opposite of fear is love. I can tell you, you know, I can tell you that I've been in both places, fear and love, fear and love. And we go back and forth like this. We're humans, we go back and forth. Okay? I cannot tell you what love is, but I can tell you what love is not. Love is not being fearful. Love is not being in hesitation. Love is not being in procrastination. Love is not any of those things. No negative emotion is love at all, ever, ever. So if you want to talk about, reprogramming the mind for inner transformation, go read Romans 12:2. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, it says, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. What mind? Your subconscious mind. There you go. There you go. It's not just in the Bible, It's not just in the Bible. It's in the Talmud. It's in the Quran. It's in the Bhagavad Gita. It's all over. It's all over, just staring at you. Things are hidden in plain sight in this world. They're all right in front of you, but you don't see it for what it is. Because you've been conditioned. Because you've been conditioned by certain things. You've been told certain things that are not true. You've been told certain things for different motives, for different purposes, for commercial purposes. So when you look at the world, you look with your eyes, right? You need to close your eyes and listen. You need to close your eyes and feel. You need to close your eyes and seek inward. Seek in here. That's where the answers are. And the answers are all subconscious. So the answers to your physical health are subconscious. What do you believe about your physical health? If you believe, oh, I'm getting old and pretty soon I'm going to get aches and pains. Oh, I have no aches and pains. I'm aging like everybody else and I have no aches and pains when I get up. If I sit a certain way in a chair for a long period of time, of course I'm going to have aches. If I work out too hard or if I run too much or do whatever, yeah, I'm going to have sore muscles. Okay. But there's a difference between aging and just completely deteriorating. If you're deteriorating, it's here. No such thing as my fingers are better on the guitar than they ever were. I play guitar, I play instruments, my fingers are faster, they're more accurate, things are better. You're supposed to get better with age. You're not supposed to deteriorate with age. But there's those fears, right? Those television commercials with all those drugs, and then you got all these side effects, and pretty soon what? You start thinking about the side effects. Oh, yeah, I could do this, I could go blind, oh, I could lose my hearing, that kind of stuff. And you start thinking about it. The more you think about it, the more you will convince yourself that it is. Let go of those thoughts, okay? Because once things come into reality, once something manifests into physicality, okay? In other words, you keep thinking things are going to get bad, right? And then things get bad, and now you have physical evidence of something getting bad. Something bad actually happened because you brought it into your world by thinking about it, boom, there it is. It happened. It happened because God is real. Right? God is going, okay, what is that going to make you happy? You're thinking about all this stuff. Okay, we'll create a situation for you. Here you go. There you go. Your wish is my command. Boom. There you go. Now you have drama. Now you have something that manifested into the physical world. Now you have a good reason to go like this. Right? Because why? Because when you start thinking of these things, your reticular activating system will start to show you things. Your subconscious will start to bring you things. Oh, you're fearing? Oh, you want this? You want that? Think about Job in the Bible and his story, right? What he feared fell upon him. It's a subconscious story. The Bible is an allegory that teaches in metaphor. It's a metaphor for you. Okay? What it's telling you, what the story is telling you, is worry is like praying for something bad to happen. When you're worried about something, you're begging for it to happen. You're asking, please make this happen, please. Right? In Seattle, a group of Buddhist monks got together and they started meditating. And guess what happened to the crime rate in Seattle? It went down. It was an experiment. It went down because they were meditating for peace. They were meditating for love. And the vibration carries. Vibration carries. So if you're worried, you're not worried about something good happening. Nobody does that, right? I don't do that. I never did that. I never worried that, oh, pretty soon I'm going to get money. Oh, man, I'm worried about it. It's a negative emotion. It's rooted in fear. So you're walking around fearing, and pretty soon your reticular activating system starts serving up things, starts serving you things. Go, you're fearing? You want more fear. Okay, here's something to fear. Here's another thing to fear. Here's another thing to. Pretty soon you're like that. Pretty soon you go like that. You close up, right? Why? Because bad things begin to happen. You cannot be open to bad things. You have to be like this when bad things happen. This represents defense. This represents, this represents I'm defensive. I'm hiding. I'm in here. This is a great place to hide. A lot of people hide in here and they never come out. As someone who's a jailbreaker, my job is to break people out of prison. This is the prison. As a jailbreaker, I have to do that. I have to break them out of prison. I'm so happy when they get out of prison. My goal in life until I die is to break as many people out of prison as I can. The prison is here. It's the way you think. When you start to change your thoughts, okay, when you start to use one of these, you can design your life. I want to live like this. I want a house that looks like this. I want a car that looks like this. I want a bicycle that looks like this. I want a girlfriend that looks like this. I want a husband that looks like this. What does your day look like? I want a day when I wake up and have coffee next to the swimming pool that I own, in the dream house that I have. I want to wake up in the morning next to the love of my life who couldn't wait to see me this morning, gave me a big hug and kiss. Write it down. Write the story. Write your script. Okay? Write your script. Life is a movie. It's your movie. You're the director. You're the producer. You're the actor. You're all of it. You're everything in it. It's all about you and the experiences that you're going to have. Now, what are your experiences going to be? Some people tell me, "Oh, Junior, no matter what I do, I can't make this thing. I can't make my life good. No matter what I do, it's drama here, drama here, drama." You keep reinforcing the drama. You keep ensuring that the drama keeps continuing, and you keep going like that. Okay. You need to open. You need to go like this from here. Okay. This is fear. Okay. This is hiding. This is defensiveness. This is all of that. And you need to open like this. Or here's another visual. Open like this. Okay? Open like that. And when you open like this, good things happen. When you're open, think about it. When you're open, you're more agreeable. When you're open, you're more welcoming. When you're open, you actually invite better experiences into your life because now they can come in. Because this is blockage. You're blocking things. Okay, just like when you're working hard. When you're working hard, you're push, 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 push. Okay, there's this energetic barrier out here that your blessings cannot get to you because this barrier is here. Push, push. Forward momentum. Push, push. Forward momentum. Push, push. I did that. I thought I had to work hard, so I was working hard at one point in my life. I did get results. Of course I got results. I got results, but not as good as I could have gotten if I paid attention to the rhythm. If I developed the rhythm, you have to observe your rhythm. Everybody has a different rhythm. Okay? If you really want to learn how to observe your rhythm, watch when money comes in and watch when money goes out. Okay? It's the flow and it's the ebb. Watch when it flows, okay? And then pay attention to how you're feeling when it begins to ebb. It's not going to always flow no matter what, okay? So just know that. Okay, your bank account's not going to fill up with millions of dollars overnight. It doesn't work like that. It's not never going to work like that. Okay, because we fluctuate. We go like this. We go like this all day long. All day long. We have some good thoughts over here, bad thoughts over here. Good thoughts, bad thoughts. Good thoughts, bad thoughts. Say good things, say bad things. Say good things, bad things. Good things, bad things. Okay? But here's the secret. If you really want the secret, let's call this 50%. Let's call this good. Let's call this bad. All you have to do from 50% is go over here to 51%. Now you have the majority good, and over here, the minority is bad. Okay, it's unrealistic to say, oh, I'm going to be 80% positive or 90% positive. That's a job. Very difficult to pull off. Okay, it's very difficult. Anybody who does that becomes sick of themselves, okay, because they're faking it. It's not realistic. All you need to do is be 51% positive. That's it. Easy. 51%. That means that you're doing more good things than bad things. That means you're having more pleasant thoughts than unpleasant thoughts. That means you're doing better things than bad things. Good, more good than bad. And as a result, what happens? Well, remember the beliefs, subconscious, the tree, okay? The tree of subconscious, okay? Subconscious beliefs, the roots, okay? The paradigm begins to shift. Now your paradigm goes, oh, okay, we're mostly positive. We're 51%. That's all you need, 51%. That's it. Okay, as long as you pull it over the line by 1%. Can you do that? Anybody can do that. You can try for 52, you can try for 55. After 55, it gets to be a job, okay? And then you're not going to feel right because you're going to be faking it, right? Okay. So you know those people that walk around faking things? You know, they always make like they're happy. Like, oh yeah, hey, hi. You know, I used to know a guy like that. And he no matter what, like he was Mr. Aloha, 24/7, right? And I told this guy I used to work with, I said, he must be burnt out at the end of the day. I wonder if he knows who he is. I wonder if he knows who he is. Because he is putting on, putting on, putting on, putting on. And pretty soon, guess what happens when a human being does that? They start to believe this. They start to believe what they're putting on. They start to believe in that artificial energy that they're producing. And then they lose track of this one. They don't know who this is. They lose track of who this is. Why? Because they're so good at acting about, you know, this one, right? Okay, so they start believing their own hype, is what I'm saying. They start believing in this artificial personality that they're putting out. And they start to believe that this is who I should be. This is who I am. And they start pushing, acting, energy into that. And then they lose track of this, who they really are. Okay, and that's mental health. Okay, because that affects you emotionally. So we're talking about health and the subconscious this morning. Any questions? Mem, yes, we are all connected in small or big circles. Family and society and meditation is healing. Absolutely. Absolutely. How do you get a session for your son? Sure, I will gladly help your son. So here, Mem. It doesn't really, okay, let me, okay. So you just go over here, okay? Go over here to the profile. There's a link right there, okay? You just hit that link, fill out the form. It goes, everything is automated. It goes directly to our office. And you can put instructions on there for me to call you, or you can send me an email, shoot me an email there. I will respond by email and we can communicate and we can help your son. Don't worry. Yeah, okay. And that, you could think good thoughts, you could think bad thoughts. Choose the good ones. Why put yourself through all that torment? You're tormenting yourself. Okay? The angel is over here. The devil, well, actually over here on my right side. The angel's on the right side. That's why Jesus sits at the right hand of the Father. Esoterically. Study esoteric knowledge and you'll see right through the Bible. The Bible will be easy to understand and it will come to you in a different way. It will speak to you in a different language, in a different way, a different manner of speaking, okay, in a different form. So over here, the right side, the angel. Over here, the left side, the devil. Okay, so the left reptilian brain, the one that rationalizes you out of all of your dreams, okay? As long as you resist that and you focus on the right side, the creative brain, that's where God lives. Okay, that's where the temple is. Okay. This one over here on this side, that rationalizes, that tells you, oh, you have this beautiful idea for a business, or you have this beautiful idea for a career, or a beautiful idea to do something good for the community. The left side goes, well, you probably can't pull that off, right? Starts to rationalize you out of it. Okay. So there's always the angel and the devil on the shoulder, and the angel will say, well, it's really good to do this stuff, right? The devil says, oh, you probably can't pull it off. You know what happened the last time? You know what happened the last time you had a crazy idea, right? I'm here to say, trust your crazy ideas, okay? But it's better to go through life like this than to go through life like this, okay? It's better to be open and unguarded than to be guarded and miss out, okay? You don't want to miss out. Life is beautiful. Life is a journey. Life is a wonderful experience if you make it so. Do I have bad moments? Oh, yeah, like everybody else. Do I have bad thoughts? Yeah, I get bad thoughts. Can I correct my bad thoughts? Well, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why I keep my pen right here. Okay? Pen. Every day. I'm so happy and grateful now that. Okay? And then write your intention. So whether you're praying, prayer is important. Prayer works. Everything I pray for, I get. Every single thing. Prayer works. Meditation works. When you're praying, you're speaking to God. When you're meditating, you're listening to God. You have to do both. You have to sit still and listen and get God's blessing. Get God's instruction. Okay? You have to do both. Whether you call it praying, wishing, intentions, it's all the same thing. You're asking. When you ask, you will receive. When you seek, you will find. When you start to use your subconscious for your health benefits, okay, it's your health plan, start writing. I am so happy and grateful now that I am in perfect health. Thank you. You'll get sick less. You'll be well more. And you'll be more happy. I'm Junior. Aloha from Hawaii. You can contact me at any of these platforms, messaging, or shoot me an email, junior@hereforyoulifecoaching.com. I will put it on my post on Facebook, and we'll put it on LinkedIn later today. And it's already on everywhere else that we're on.